Roman Reigns and Jey Uso beef. The Rock makes a big announcement regarding presidential plans. Referee responds to Sheamus after saying Gunther tap. The Rock's daughter wants Roman Reigns to beat Andrew Tate. Roman Reigns threatens Logan Paul. Logan Paul roasts the bloodline. Let's jump right into it. The Rock makes a big announcement regarding presidential plans. The Rock had been seriously considering running for president, especially after a poll showed that 46% of adults in the USA would support him in his campaign. However, the WWE legend recently revealed that the run for president is off the table. He cited his responsibilities as a father as the primary reason for backing out of his original plans. The Rock further elaborated that a run for the presidency would take a great chunk of time out of his life, not allowing him to spend more time with his daughter. Speaking in an interview with Tracy Smith on CBS News Sunday morning, the Great One broke the news. Running for president is off the table. Yes, it is off the table, The Rock said. I will say this because it requires the B-side to this. I love our country and everyone in it. I also love being a daddy. That's the most important thing to me, is being a daddy. Number one, especially during this time, this critical time in my daughter's life, because I know what it was like to be on the road and be so busy that I was absent for a lot of years. My first daughter's growing up in this critical age, at this critical time in her life, and that's what the presidency will do. So my number one priority is my daughter. Sure, CEO sounds great, but the number one thing I want to be is a daddy. Yeah, that's it. The Great One is rumored to return next year to face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. While there isn't any substantial proof hinting towards his comeback, the former WWE champion would be the perfect opponent for the tribal chief. Given the familial ties and Roman's strong emphasis on being the head of the table, the dream feud has been building on the back burner ever since Reigns returned in 2020. Fan theories have also fed into the speculation with the road to WrestleMania just less than 3 months away. Roman has held the Universal Championship for over 2 years now and also has the WWE title strapped firmly around his waist. It remains to be seen how much things will change by the time we get to WrestleMania 39. Referee responds to Sheamus after saying Gunther tapped. The main event of SmackDown saw Gunther retain the Intercontinental Championship against Sheamus. It wasn't without controversy, however, as many believe that Gunther tapped out to the former world champion and that the title should have changed hands. However, referee Jessica Carr has something different to say. There is no denying that referee Jessica Carr had the best view of what happened. She has denied that it was a tap out, affirming that her decision was a fair one. Sheamus responded by saying that even legendary blind singer Stevie Wonder could have seen that. However, the referee responded to the Celtic Warrior by stating that she understood his reaction, but assured him that Gunther didn't tap out. At WWE, Sheamus, I know you're emotionally fired up right now. You and everyone knows that I'll always call it down the middle and you can trust me. He didn't tap, said the referee. Gunther would eventually pick up the victory thanks to his Imperium members, who provided an assist. The Brawling Brutes members Ridge Holland and Butch were told to sit out as the Celtic Warrior wanted to go at it on his own. Unfortunately, for him, that decision didn't pay off. Holland and Butch would come out post-match to fight Ludwig Kaiser and Giovanni Vinci as SmackDown went off the air. Intercontinental Champion Gunther has vehemently denied tapping out to Sheamus in the main event of SmackDown. However, the two taps and the angle were done specifically with the goal of continuing the feud, something that will likely be confirmed if the Brawling Brutes defeat Imperium at Extreme Rules. It wouldn't be surprising if the Brawling Brutes pick up the victory on Saturday night. The 6-man tag team bout will be a good old-fashioned Donnabrook match. Do you think Gunther tapped out on SmackDown? Should the Celtic Warrior be the new Intercontinental Champion? Voice your thoughts in the comments section below. The Rock's daughter wants Roman Reigns to beat Andrew Tate. Roman Reigns is at the top of his game, and if he makes it to WrestleMania 39 as the Universal Champion, his reign will have touched 944 days, an unprecedented number in the modern era. On SmackDown this week, Paul Heyman hyped up Logan Paul by stating that the likes of the highly controversial Andrew Tate would never have the guts to square up to Roman Reigns. The Rock's daughter recently tweeted about the controversial figure. For the uninitiated, Andrew Tate is a former kickboxer who became a social media star. His content was known to be about accumulating wealth or hustling, dating advice, and more. His videos and views were considered highly misogynistic, resulting in bans from social media giants such as Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. Videos of him circulating on TikTok have upwards of 13 billion views, indicating his level of popularity. This is perhaps why The Rock's daughter Ava Raine stated that she wanted to see Roman Reigns beat the ST out of Andrew Tate. Ava Raine would later respond by stating how surprised she was that people were defending Andrew Tate. Either way, the fact that his name was used on WWE means that he is simply getting more exposure despite the bans. It's not surprising that most fans wondered why names like Ben Shapiro and Andrew Tate were brought up during the opening segment of SmackDown. The context was Paul Heyman stating that none of them could stand up to the tribal chief, something that most fans assumed anyway. The general reaction on Twitter was that of perplexity, as most fans simply didn't understand the need for such random references. It wasn't as random when put into context, but those names certainly don't belong in the realm of pro wrestling and WWE WWE. Would you like to see Reigns versus Andrew Tate in a WWE ring? Give your thoughts in the comments section below. Roman Reigns threatens Logan Paul. Roman Reigns sent a bold message to Logan Paul after tonight's edition of WWE SmackDown. Roman Reigns is set to defend his undisputed WWE Universal title against Logan Paul at Crown Jewel on November 5th. Paul is hell-bent on defeating Reigns to become the top guy on the company roster. On the latest episode of WWE SmackDown, the Maverick came face-to-face with the Bloodline. The verbal back and forth between Paul and the Bloodline ended with Sami Zayn berating Paul and calling him a stain on Reigns' show. After SmackDown came to a close, Reigns took to Twitter to send a message to the YouTube star. The Tribal Chief referred to Paul as my son to make it clear that he's way beneath the Tribal Chief. You're in the deep end now, my son. The Logan Paul #SmackDown, Reigns tweeted. The Crown Jewel 2022 bout pitting Roman Reigns and Logan Paul was made official a while ago by Triple H. Ever since then, Reigns has shared his honest thoughts about the YouTube personality on a bunch of occasions. Here's what he said about Paul while speaking with Seconds Out: "Be so good that nobody can take your spot. I don't care who they bring in, you can bring in anyone, and they ain't going to take the Tribal Chief spot. When I'm sitting on the same stage and I hear some of that dumb SHT spewed out, of course, it's going to anger me and things are going to pop off. At the same time, before he came here, no disrespect, I didn't know who he was. I'm not a 15-year-old little girl. I don't watch Logan Paul or any of the Paul YouTube vlog people. That's not what I do." Roman Reigns has beaten the very best who have come into his path over the past 2 years. Reigns seems quite confident that he will put Logan Paul down with ease and leave Saudi Arabia with both of his title belts. Paul, on the other hand, has the opportunity to pull off the biggest upset in WWE history. What do you think? Does Logan Paul have it in him to do the unthinkable at Crown Jewel? Logan Paul roasts the Bloodline. Logan Paul recently sent a warning to undisputed Universal Champion Roman Reigns after this week's WWE SmackDown, where they came face-to-face. The opening segment of the show saw Paul interrupt the Tribal Chief before he could address the crowd. Despite being a babyface, Paul was resoundingly booed by the Worcester fans. He attempted to create differences between Bloodline by suggesting Jey Uso should have been the leader of the stable. However, honorary youth Sami Zayn quickly diffused any tension between Roman Reigns and Jey. Logan Paul's tactics seemingly worked here as the Bloodline looked vulnerable for the first time in months. Post-show, the Raw star appeared for a backstage interview where he took shots at Bloodline, saying he was much smarter than all the members of the stable combined. Paul then reiterated how Roman Reigns would be without his faction mates at Crown Jewel and warned that he was coming for him. Paul Heyman, Sami Zayn, these guys like to run their mouths, let them run their mouths. I see 6 guys in there and just one of me. But yeah, if you combine all of their brains together, I'm still smarter than them. So, I'm gonna find a way to win, and today, we divide and we conquer. Crown Jewel is not gonna be easy for Roman. He's not gonna have the Bloodline by his side, and I'm coming for him on November 5th, said Logan Paul. While it's safe to say Logan Paul will put his best foot forward at Crown Jewel 2022, it's hard to see him come out victorious. Considering Roman Reigns has defeated several full-time performers over the last 2 years, it's unlikely WWE would book him to lose to Paul, who's just 2 matches into his career. That said, by putting up a brave effort, the YouTube sensation could silence many of his detractors who have criticized WWE for granting him a title match. Moreover, if Paul's performances at this year's WrestleMania and SummerSlam are anything to go by, fans can expect an explosive encounter at Crown Jewel. What did you make of WWE SmackDown's opening segment this week? Sound off in the comments section below. Roman Reigns and Jey Uso beef. The tension between Roman Reigns and his fellow Bloodline stablemate, Jey Uso, was visible in this week's WWE SmackDown. The Bloodline made its presence known at the SmackDown season premiere with the Tribal Chief coming face-to-face with Logan Paul ahead of their match at Crown Jewel. During the same segment, Reigns stared down Jey when the audience started cheering for the latter. However, Sami Zayn intervened and brought peace to the Bloodline camp. Wrestling fans quickly reacted to the brief stare-down between the two cousins. The Twitterverse noted that the moment reminded them of the 2020 feud between Reigns and Jey. The news of Logan Paul facing Roman Reigns created quite a buzz in the mainstream media. WWE commentator Corey Graves recently gave his take on the upcoming match at Crown Jewel. On his After the Bell podcast, Graves claimed that he would have hated the idea of the match a decade ago. However, he now thinks Reigns versus Paul is a good idea from the business aspect. If you would have asked me that very same question 10 years ago, 11 years ago, when I first started in the company as a developmental wrestler in FCW, I would have said, this is garbage. I hate it. I can't stand it. This guy hasn't paid his dues. Now sitting where I sit, having experienced this machine in this capacity for as long as I have and sat ringside for countless hours of matches and moments and memories, now I have a completely different point of view and I love it because of the business aspect of it, Paul said. As noted earlier, Reigns and Paul will collide at the upcoming Crown Jewel Premium Live event. The Maverick will challenge for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship in only his third WWE match. It remains to be seen whether Jey Uso will betray his tribal chief at the event or not. Could Logan Paul surprise the wrestling world and dethrone Roman Reigns? Sound off in the comments section.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gon' feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head.